Hello everyone, this is Urkmon, and I decided, because I'm a huge Sonic fan, as I'm sure you can tell from all this stuff in my apartment room here, that I am going to count down my favorite order of all of the Sonic games that I've ever played. I've played a lot of them. I haven't played all of them, but I've played pretty much all of them. The only games I haven't played are the DS titles, Sonic Shuffle, Sonic Free Riders, and the PSP titles. And I'm purposely not including the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and also the Sega All-Star Games. I'm not including those. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy my countdown.
So yeah, this game is a piece of crap. Sonic Labyrinth. Basically, the core concept of this game is that Sonic is given slow shoes. Shoes that purposely make him go slower. Kind of contradicting what Sonic's all about. Basically, all you can do in this game is spin dash and you bounce off the walls, and it's just a complete, utter mess. It runs slow, the levels are poorly designed, it's on a Game Gear in an isometric view, just everything about this game is horrible, and thus it ranks as my least favorite Sonic game of every game that I've played. Tails Sky Patrol. This game is nothing but stupid. Basically, you're flying around as Tails with this wing, and you're fighting against these weird people who have never been in Sonic games before. They're like all these animals, and yeah, you're just fighting against them for no reason. It's sort of like a cutesy game. Now, the gameplay isn't terrible. It's somewhat challenging. It's just the concept of the game is stupid, and hence I don't like it very much. Tails Adventures. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very different, interesting type of game, but something's lacking in it. I mean, as you can tell right now, you're kind of just like walking around fighting penguins. And it was very interesting how the game has a level up system, and it's kind of more like sort of like a role-playing game almost, and you've got like a overworld map, as you can see right there. And I especially liked some of the environments. The environments were very different, and some of the puzzles that you had to solve were quite challenging, but it just isn't a Sonic game. And it was also awesome that you had the little robot that turned into the submarine, and then you had the submarine levels that would like link you to different parts of the island. But besides that, there wasn't much there, and it was kind of clunky, I believe. Sonic Drift. This game, it was only released in Japan, so not really anybody played it, and for good reason. I mean, it's boring and it feels unfinished. The finished product, you can kind of see that more in Sonic Drift 2, but basically, as you can see in this game, every track is basically just a circle, and the only thing that really ever changes in any tracks is the background, as you can see right there. So it's just, and playing a game like this on an 8-bit Game Gear, it just doesn't work very well at all. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. This game completely disappointed me beyond anything. When it first came out, I was like super excited for it. It was Sonic the Hedgehog on the next generation consoles. It looked so realistic, and then I saw the critic reviews, and they were all like saying it was awful and like one of the worst Sonic games ever, and I just thought maybe this was just because like, oh, critics weren't like Sonic games recently. But I got this game myself and I played it, and it's bad. It's really, really, really bad. Basically everything, just from the physics of it, the jumping's weird, everything's clunky, there's so many glitches, the story's stupid. I won't even get into the Sonic princess love thing that's just weird. And then, of course, there was the infamous silver glitch that basically you couldn't fight them. And the loading screens. There were so many long loading screens in that game. So, all in all, this was just basically a disgrace to the Sonic franchise. And yeah, it is my least favorite Sonic 3D game, and with good reason. Dang loading screen! One of Sonic's 2 arcade outings, Sonic the Fighters. This I found was to be a very interesting concept, so I definitely wanted to play it, so I got Sonic Gems Collection and tried it out. It was very bland. That's all I can really say about it. It's pretty much just all about button mashing. You hit one button and try to knock out your opponent. I did like the slam move that you could do to your opponents. That's something that you don't usually see in tournament fighting games. I kind of actually like that. But there were so many stupid characters who you like never see again. Maybe they're like in the comic books or something, but I don't know them, and this is the only game I've ever seen them in. And stupid Bean the Dynamite, whatever he is, that character just annoys me, and him beating up Sonic is just wrong. Sonic Blast for the Sega Game Gear. This has got to be it is the slowest and clunkiest Sonic platformer. Basically, this was the last game released for the Sega Game Gear. It was released in 1996, and basically all the game really tries to do is experiment with a new graphics engine. It's basically trying to play off of the graphics that were introduced with the Donkey Kong Country game on the Super Nintendo. How it's kind of like a 3D-ish look. It's a good idea, just not on an 8-bit system. It doesn't handle it well, and other aspects of the game suffer, like the controls and the level design. It's very bland overall, and the graphics don't even look that great. I mean, you could give the excuse that it's for an 8-bit system, but the animations and everything are horrible. I mean, look at that Knuckles running. That's a terrible animation, and the characters are extremely disproportionate. I don't really understand how that happened in this game, that the characters are so much bigger than the enemies they're fighting. I mean, look at how big they are in comparison to that little Buzz Bomber there.